No men do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Growing the Tribe. We gotta wait a little bit till people come in. We only got one person in chat. So I'm going to talk a little bit and then we'll go into the rules and get started. Give people a chance to kind of uh, slowly trickle in. And I want to give people a heads up. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation. I'm going to record a bunch of fairly short stuff for the channel. Uh, you know, quotes and alarms and things I can do pretty darn quickly and easily. And then I'm going to be gone for the week. There will be no stream next Friday. And I will then get back to my normal stuff. So, welcome aboard, everyone. I got 6 people so far. Okay. Whoa, we just went down to 3. Did I say something wrong? I didn't mean to. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna start up the session again. I'm gonna go over the rules for those of you who are unfamiliar. If anybody new comes in and is like, hey, what the heck's going on? If you guys could kind of inform folks. Hello, everybody. Hello, Eric and Marcus and Russian Doomer and Miles. Welcome, everybody. So, yeah, if you get new people coming in, it's good policy to kind of inform them of what's going on and what's happening in the session. Even if we get like folks that are regulars coming in, it's good form to keep them informed. All right. So what we have going on here is this is a role play that I play with my chat. You guys control the actions of one Snotius the First, the snot boss of Snotopia and its capital city of Snotantinople. And basically the way it works is things happen, and then you guys get to choose the actions that Snotius will take. If Snotius dies, you guys will be able to respawn as a different orcoid, whether it's an orc or a grot or a snotling or a squig or whatever chat decides they want to come back as. And theoretically, this is going to be like you guys die and come back and die and come back and die and come back, but Snotius just won't die. So he is still the leader. He is a mutant snotling. And the way things work is Snotius's actions are determined by chat, which essentially amounts to democracy. So whatever people kind of most want, that's what we'll go with. Occasionally, I will tweak things. It's like, I kind of like this thing a little bit better. My own editorial decisions will shape some things. However, if you want something to happen, if you want something unilaterally to happen, you can donate a super chat, and then that will then you basically get to be dictator and determine what the action Snotius is going to take. You can also put down money to control the actions of one of the other green skins that are in your party. You can also put down money if you want to name one of the characters, and then that will be the character. Warning: characters die. We do have characters that die. So if you name somebody and you're in a fight, it could be that your person dies. So a quick recap of where we are. You guys had set off down the river and had some adventures, had some snotlings fall into the Great River. You guys ran into some carnivorous apes that attacked you at night. Snotius was nearly killed. It was the first fight that he had actually flat out lost. He survived, but that was mostly thanks to DeBrain, who is our picture right here. So I figured he was MVP last time. He gets to show up in the picture. And after that incident, you guys continued down the river. You saw smoke rising in the distance. You got out of the raft, walked up a small hill, and you look down to see a small Hume settlement. And I can give you a quick description. DeBrain is second in command, right? That's up to you guys. Previously, your lieutenants had been Tree Climate and Snotbow. They were kind of your second in command. Pegleg is also one of your guys that you trust to do certain things. Like he's back at Snotantinople, and he's kind of running things in your absence. Yeah, Tree Climber's been around the longest. He's close to your size. He's pretty big. Both he and Snotbow are grotlings. They have mutated and gotten to be the size of grots. Yeah, Pegleg is very old, but he is small. He hasn't been fighting. He's like an odd boy. He builds things. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys a quick description, and then we'll get into things. So the human settlement, if you look down across, you can see it. There's sort of a valley, like you're on top of a hill, and this area is kind of nestled into a little valley, and you can see farmhouses and barns, and basically everything is very centrally located. All of the buildings are kind of built in a town kind of shape, and then out from the town, you can see there are fields of crops and things like that. And you can see there look to be like about 10 farmhouses with 10 barns, and then there's also a large building in the center of everything, and it looks like it has like a big antenna, and you can also see like it has what look like satellite dishes and things like that. There's sort of like looks like a big hub of some kind. You can also see Humies wandering around. You can see at least one farm vehicle kind of trundling around out in the fields. The other thing you see out in the fields is you can see that there are watchtowers. There's like 5 watchtowers, and the fields basically create a big barrier between like they just have there's a big flat open area between the very edge of the land and then the town. So anyone who's coming across the fields, they have a good, half mile to cross, maybe like a half mile to quarter mile, something like that to cross in order to actually reach the town. And there are also 5 watchtowers kind of arranged around out in the fields. I'm going to go ahead. Let me get my dice roller. One of these days I'm going to have my dice roller already set up. But I want that day is not today, but I will. Okay. All right. So you guys, I'm just rolling right now for you guys to get this is your spot check. So you guys, I'll get, some people are asking questions, and I'll get to those in a second. Let me just set the scene. You are able to spot around the very, very edge of the fields. You can see that there is a fence that goes all the way around all of the farmland. It's basically like it's not huge. It's but I mean it's tall for you guys. It is it's like an 8-10 foot tall fence that goes all the way around. So that's what's going on right now. As Snotius, as is the custom, I'm going to start us off with our customary beginning. Snotius is standing on top of the hill, gazing out upon the land that he means to conquer, and in deep contemplation, he once again picks his nose. All right, so we got how. So let's get some questions going. How is Snorsleepa? He's still alive. He's a little sleepy. He's around. He exists. I don't have a map drawn. Like I said, it is 10 buildings centered in 10 like farmhouses and then 10 barns that kind of make up a town. And then there's a big building that looks like it's a hub of some kind. It has like an antenna and a number of dishes. Then that's surrounded by it's like the town hall is in the center. Then that's surrounded by the town. Then that's surrounded by fields. There are 5 towers that are out in the fields. They're not like super crazy heavily fortified. They're almost like they're like a little bit more they're a little bit more sophisticated than like deer stands. They're not like military installations. They're literally like lookout posts. And then around everything is a fence. I don't have a map of the thing. I know what it looks like in my head. I didn't draw a map. Why does Snottius have a big brain? Because that's not Snottius. That's the brain. It's the brain. So how many Gits and Snots? You guys lost 1 Snotling to the apes. You had 15 Snotlings. You have DeBrain and Stinky and DeFast and DeFurious as far as Grots go. So you're down to 14 Snotlings. Named Snotlings, we have Snorsleepa, Bash Skull, and Soggy. The guy who died was Deadzo. And then we have 11 unnamed Snotlings, DeBrain, Stinky, DeFast, DeFurious, and we have good old Snottius. Yeah, the towers. So the towers they're basically in a pentagram shape or a pentagram. They're like in a pentagram arrangement around, kind of in the middle of the fields. All right, so options are you can try to maybe lay an ambush if you can. It's going to be pretty difficult because you have to get over the fence or under the fence or however way you want to get through the fence. You have to deal with the fence. You have to. Now you guys are small, so you might be able to move through the fields without being spotted. But this is going to be a little bit of a janky session because it's going to be a lot of prep work by you guys. So it's kind of going to be, you guys need to agree on stuff. All right, so are we heading back to Snot-Tantinople? Looks like everyone wants to go back. The vehicle, yeah, is like a caterpillar tractor. As far as, yeah, that's basically what it is. We don't know. We know where the Humies are, and that's enough for now, I suppose. That we go back home and prepare. I think people are going to time to head back. Now, here's the problem of heading back. It's going to take longer to head back. You might be able to move back about as fast as you made it downstream if you basically have everyone paddling. So do you guys just want to paddle back? The other option is walking, and that's going to take a long time, and you guys are going to get caught out in the night. All right, so we got paddle back, we got walk back. It seems like most people are saying go back. Are we paddling back or are we walking back? Got paddle back, paddle back. Paddle back. All right. Okay, so you guys get back on. So you kind of scope out the area, and I'm gonna give the Humies like they shouldn't see you guys, but like there's a okay, they don't. Um, it's just in case of like basically they needed to roll a crit 20 for like someone in the watchtowers to see you guys. You guys are not what they're looking for. So, all right. So paddling back. All right, you guys are heading back, and you guys did not travel very far because you woke up and you traveled a little ways and then found the Humie settlement. So it's probably about noon right now. You paddle back and get back to about, and you're like making everyone's paddling, like you're getting everyone who can is pushing things forward. You guys hit the rapids. We're gonna see you guys have the rapids up ahead. You pass where you made the camp where the monkeys are. You pass through like the dark forest area, and then you have the rapids. So you can try to. This is where the water's fastest. So you guys kind of need to like beat the current. So yeah, you guys have 3 shooters, 1 burner. You haven't assigned the burner to anyone yet. Can we land the? Yeah, okay, that's an idea. Do you guys want to paddle through the rapids, or do you want to pull the raft off to the side and then carry it past the rapids? You can do that too. Let's do those. Those are the 2 options. You guys have talked about Stinky getting the burner. He can, but you will be giving Stinky something that's explosive. Okay, got 2 people saying carry it past, carry past rapids. Okay, so you guys pull off over the side. You hit the bank. Um, it is a heavy raft because it floats all of you, but you also do have a lot of hands to carry it. You basically put a grot on each side, and then the snotlings are all kind of underneath of it, holding it up above their heads. Snore Sleeper tries to sleep on top of the raft, and he's roughly shaken awake and forced to help carry with everyone else. Come on, let's move it. And they basically quick foot it over past the rapids and get around. And you guys set people are starting to get the snotlings and grots are starting to get a bit tired. But if you keep it up, you can make it back before it gets dark. All right, smacking Snore Sleeper. Make a pump wagon and equip it with a burner. You guys kind of need to get scrapped for that. Tell 2 snotlings to use the burner. All right, we got. So we want 2 snot. So that's going to be it. Thank you for the donation, Captain Toothbreaker. So you want 2 snotlings to use it. We got as far as name snotlings, we have Snore Sleeper, Soggy, and Bash Skull. One of them can probably carry the tank, and the other one can use the Bernie part. Which ones do you want to give it to? You gave the donation, Captain Toothbreaker. So, who are you giving it to? Bash Skull and Soggy. That's a suggestion. I'm going to let Captain Toothbreaker make the call since he made the donation. But Chad, of course, can make suggestions if they want. I see nothing. There's silence. Bash Skull might be a git. You can also name. All right, Captain Toothbreaker's calling it Soggy and Bash Skull. Okay, so Stinky is not entrusted with the Burna. Two of the new Snots are entrusted with it, and their eyes kind of go wide with the faith that has been entrusted with them, and they take their duty very seriously. They have a little bit of trouble like moving at the same time because the Burna pack is kind of connects the two of them, and they need to move at the same time. But they have been granted the Burna. DeFast and DeFurious do seem a little annoyed, but Snottius kind of comes up to them and he says, "Look, I that stuff, all that Bernie juice. If that goes up, I don't want to lose no good grots. You know, if you lose snotlings, there's more snotlings. I don't got that many of you." All right, and so you guys get back on the raft and paddle your way back to Snot-Tantanople. And we're gonna see. I'm gonna roll and see how many snotlings have popped up in our absence. Okay. 2. Okay. As you guys head back, there were 30 snotlings in Snot-Tantanople. When you come back, you guys basically you're tired, you're exhausted. Everyone was paddling, and they're kind of sucking wind by the end of it. But they managed to paddle back down the canal from the Great River to Snot-Tantanople. And when you guys return, you have found that not that many snotlings have popped up. There were only 4 new snotlings that popped up. You have 34 snotlings, but you did have 3 more grots pop up. So you now have Stinky and DeBrain. You have DeFast and the Furious, and now you have 3 more grots that have popped up. Will our shooty stuff run out of ammo? You have to shoot a las gun a lot for it to run out of ammo. There's like a las gun has like 1,000, 2,000 shots in it or something, and if the grots poke around with it enough, you can recharge a las gun pack by throwing it in a fire. Like las gun, it degrades it will degrade the battery pack, the charge pack faster. But you can in bad situations, you could recharge it by throwing it in a campfire. Do you guys want? Okay, so we got. Do you want to name the grots after the 3 Stooges? You do have snotlings from the other bases. There were 3 over in Skullstanbull, which I'm gonna rename it Snotantium for in the name of Snotbow. So it is no longer Skullstanbull. It is now Snotantium. We got yes. Grot and Gratius. We can go Larry. Go Ed and Eddie. We can go 3. All right, we got Grot and Gratius. We got Ed and Eddie, or we can go Larry, Moe, and Curly. I got 1 for Ed and Eddie, 2 for Ed and Eddie. Or one for, at least one for Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Larry, Curly, and Mo. One of the grots can be Pegleg's right-hand grot. That's kind of been DeBrain. DeBrain has been the one who's been helping out Pegleg the most. All right, I got 2 Larry, Curl, and Mo's. Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Ed, Ed, Edit. I assume he means Eddie. Ed, 3 for Ed. All right, looks like Ed, Ed, and Eddie are the... We'll go Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Ed, Ed, and Eddie for the 3 grots that have popped up. All right, so it is just about nightfall. So is there anything else you guys wanted to do before we hit the hay? Because you basically went out to the settlement, paddled hard to get back. You're really tired. It is now nighttime. You can probably hit the hay and resume your... So, okay, tell DeBrain if he can figure out if Snotfire can be used in the burner. I can have him do that. That can be a thing that he does, like, overnight. Probably we don't have time to, like, go out to the other settlements. Those take a little bit to get to. But we can do that in the morning. All right. So we're going to sleep. Some people are saying pray to Gork and Mork. So one thing I think the good idea is let's see if the brain can figure out how the burner works and if other fuel can be used for it. All right, I think pray to Gork and Mork is the other thing we're going to do. We can assign another grot to help DeBrain and Pegleg as they work on more tech. Right now, they're kind of limited in the tech they can come up with because they don't have, you guys like don't have mining and metallurgy and stuff like that. Getting scrap will like help you jumpstart your tech. Like if you can get things that you can cannibalize from the humans, you will get a kickstart to your tech. All right, so let's see if we have... I'm going to see what Brain can find out about Deburna. So the next day, when you wake up, you see that the Burna has been completely taken apart. And DeBrain has gone over and is looking at it. Like, he basically hasn't figured out how it works. He has figured out how to take it apart, and it is now not in any kind of shape to be used. Not for a while. You guys, like, the rest of the Humi armor as scrap, it's not enough stuff. Like, you don't have, like, you need components that you can build stuff with. A pile of shark mail is, you can't, even orcs can't turn that into tech. Like, if you guys sack the farming community, they have a lot of stuff that can be used for orky purposes. Then you can start making weird things happen. But, like, you just don't have enough of it. All right. So, yeah, this is where we went to bed. It's now morning. What was the other thing you guys want to do? Pray to Gork and Mork? All right, let's do that. Gonna pray to Gork and Mork, see if we get anything interesting. Okay, you can pray to Gork and Mork, and it feels like it helps you refocus on what you was made for. which is fighting and winning. And Gork and Mork are optimistic. They seem like they're a little disappointed that you didn't fight earlier, but Mork seems like Mork seems happy because you went back and are going to do something cunning. All right, so we have a couple options. Do you guys are going to have so you can make a team of snots to steal Humie scrap. Now, there's a couple limitations on that. One of the limitations is you have to get the snotlings in. They have to get all the way into the settlement undetected, find something that's worthwhile, and then be able to carry it all the way out. The limitation is snotlings can't carry a whole lot. They're very small. So it would take a while to get an appreciable amount of scrap just by sending snotlings in. But you could start looting old parts and things. You could conceivably loot enough stuff given enough time. All right, so we are going to, before we get started on this, I think you guys were talking about wanting to gather forces from the other settlements. So did you guys want to go check on Snotbow? Because you can also pick him up with his Snot commandos. We're getting a little bit unfocused. I'm going to try to get us. So you guys, we got one person saying they want to go to the cave. Make a base closer to the Humies. You could pick up stakes from Snot-Antinople and move closer to the Humies. Go pick up boys. Go to the cave. Gather forces. All right. We can go check see what's going on at the cave because there were a lot of snotlings that died there. The battle was not that long ago. It was only a couple days ago, but there might be snotlings already. All right, let's see how many snotlings have popped up. Okay. There were a lot of snotlings that died there. There were like 30 snotlings died at that location, so a lot of spores dropped. All right, so you guys head back to. I think this session is basically going to be preparing to do something with the Humie settlement, and then we'll get to the point where we're going to start, and then that'll I think that'll be a good setup. This is going to be all set up to prepare for the fight with the Humies, or whatever it is you guys plan on doing. All right, so you guys head out to the cave, and when you get there, you actually see a lot of snotlings. DeBrain comes with you, and he's actually able to count all of them, and he counts 17. So yeah, guys have 17 snotlings that are living around the cave. Yeah, if you guys go by foot, you're gonna have to go through the dark forest area. It was not a nat 20. I rolled a 20-sided die, and we got a 17, so 17 snotlings popped up. Do you guys want to set a person to command this one? That's not a bad idea. You got a bunch of grots that could potentially lead this area. You also have Tree Climber if you wanted to entrust him. You kind of got to decide which guys you want by your side and which ones you want governing things. All right, I think let's pick someone to command it. Yeah, mining. I think making it into a quarry, and if you guys find ore in there, That might work. All right, so so do you guys want to make, so somebody suggested the Fast and the Furious. So family will command, so that's 2 people saying the Fast and the Furious. 3 people saying the Fast and the Furious. 1 person saying tree climber, 1 person saying stinky. DeFast as commander. Okay, okay. DeFast and the Furious. You guys set DeFast and the Furious with you to take care of the cave settlement and to start digging things out. So you guys will now have a quarry. They're going to start regularly digging up rocks, and there's going to be a chance that they find like mineral deposits as well and like metal and stuff. So they're settled there. Now, how many snots do we want to take back with us? Let's go 5, 10, or 15. Let's keep it. We can go 5, 10, 15 for how many snots you want to take back with you. And 10. Yeah, Steve is with Snotbow. Redshirt 2, who's Punching Bag, and Steve are with Snotbow. Most people are saying 5. All right. So I'm 5. I'm doing some quick tallying up. Okay, with 5 more snots, you have 39 snots back at Snotantinople. Okay. All right, and then you guys want to go check up on Snotbow and see how things are going there. I need some scrap for Pump Wagon. It's kind of going to have to come from the Hume settlement unless you want to look for someplace else. All right, checking on Snotbow. Checking out Snotbow. All right, let's go see how things are with him. So he's going to have a couple rolls. So we're going to see how much more training Snotantium is basically like the Pokemon daycare center. You can send Snots and Grots there to train and come out much better. So let's see how we have. Let's see how our other Grots and Snots have been doing. So let's take, and then we'll see how many basically how many got trained as commandos and how good are they. So, and how big are they? All right, so we're going to check on Redshirt 2, Punching Bag, and Steve and see how their training's going along. Holy cow. Okay, so you guys roll up on Snotantium, and when you show, let me take a look, one more thing. So when you show up, you see like a bunch of kind of incompetent looking snotlings that are kind of like stabbing at each other or like going through practicing motions, but they're kind of clumsy and not doing very well. And you don't see Snotbow anywhere. Like, he just doesn't seem to be around. From the 10 Snots that were there the last time you were there are now 12. However, as you guys are walking and moving to cross the Great River, Snotbow, Redshirt 2, Punching Bag, and Steve just like melt out of the bushes. And Redshirt 2, Punching Bag, and Steve are like a lot bigger and more ferocious looking. They basically smear a bunch of purple off of their faces and then suddenly become visible to you guys. So I didn't do much training with the little ones, but I got these ones trained up real nice. And so you guys now have 3 elite Snot commandos, and the other ones are like he hasn't really done much with the Snotlings, with the other Snotlings, but the 3 that he like was given, he like trained up really good. How much bigger are we talking? They're like 2 feet tall. With Grotz being 3 feet tall and a typical Snotling being like 1.5 feet tall. So do you want to take Red Shirt 2 Punching Bag and Steve along with us and leave Snotbo to keep training up the Snot commandos? Yep, that isn't now that you have proper commandos, sneaking in and stealing stuff is a much more viable strategy. All right. Yeah, you tell them about the Hume place. You tell them about the Hume place. If we're going to actually fight, we need to stockpile up and set out scouts to survey territory for good weapon rocks. Flint would be preferable. You guys have a quarry, so you guys should have plenty of ability to get like rock weapons and stuff at this point. All right. Snodius is about 4 feet tall at this point. He's approaching like small orc sized. A small orc is like a freshly popped out orc is like 6 feet tall. Or an orc boy, probably a youth, like really freshly popped out one might be shorter. But a typical boy, a rank and file boy, is about 6 feet tall. Okay. Yeah, I like the drawing of the brain too. All right, so I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave Snotbow to take care of the other commandos, and I actually got mixed up because in one of my stories, I got mixed up of who had the Shuta, because I think basically we gave one of the las guns to Snotbow, but then I got mixed up and said that Tree Climber had it. So, meh. I'm going to have it in the story that Tree Climber is given the las gun now. Yeah, I drew this. This is me. How many atlatls do we have now? We at this point you guys can make atlatls to make sure everyone's armed with them. You can also start on bows. All right, so I guess we're some people have had an idea. Let's do a couple up and down votes of things that we want to do. So we have the suggestion of send the commando snots to go steal things and also to like scout stuff out. Do you guys want to just send them to do that? They can die. They can be caught and they can die, and they can also like reveal that something's coming if they get caught. So I'm just warning you, that is something that can happen. They're good at what they do. They're gonna have an advantage. They're small. They're trained in stealth. They should have a pretty good chance of breaking in and getting stuff, but there is a risk for them to go. So we got yes on that. Yes, yes. Don't send them. Yes, send them in. Okay, so that's gonna be one thing. I'm typing out the plan. Okay, sending in commandos. All right, somebody has suggested making more weapons, upgrading weapons. People are saying bows. Do we want to go with bows? Try to make bows for everyone. So the next yes or no is bows, because people are saying upgrade weapons and armor. Hey, how's it going? More bows? Sure. Okay. We'll go with... These are basically things I'm going to be rolling off. Make bows. We're going to make bows and arrows. Your armor at this point is still going to... Most of your snots, if they're alive for long enough, they and grots, they get like animal skins as their armor, whether it be lizard or fish scales or like animal hides, and that's about as good as you can do until you have like metallurgy, which you don't have right now. Okay, we're gonna get some arm pog chomp. He doesn't have any arms. he is a weapon. He's a big mouth with big teeth on legs. It's kind of hard to arm him. All right, make some squig cavalry. We'll see how we have what numbers we have for squig breeding, because we haven't done a whole lot of squig breeding, so we'll see if we can get that done. Squig, yeah, squig cavalry. That'll be a thing we try to do. Can we ride PogChomp yet? Let's give PogChomp a roll and see how he's doing as far as his size. Yeah, I'm going to say he's big enough. He's big enough that you can ride him as a squig hopper. You're big, but he's gotten pretty sizable at this point. Yeah, you can ride PogChomp as a squig hopper. Squigs get really big. Squigs grow like orcs do. You can get up to squig-off sized squigs. You generally don't get squig-offs without runt herds, but at least in fantasy you can get gargantuan squigs. You get really big squigs. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to write that down. That. Okay, you can ride PogChomp now. What's the ETA on the first orc boy popping out? Runt herd might complicate things. It should be. You guys don't have that much longer before orcs start popping up. So it could be a thing where you want to wait for orcs, but if you want to stealthily infiltrate and like do things like that, you kind of want to hit the place now. Like, you're talking for orcs, you're talking within the next 2 weeks, orcs are going to start popping up. Is it possible for Snotfire to be used? We can do that. How do you guys feel about... Okay, we got a possible for Snotfire to be used. I like that as an idea of like store up the dung and kind of put it in like urns. You guys can make like pottery and stuff, and basically like have burning urns of Snotfire that you can hurl at people. Okay, I'm gonna go with Snotfire, and then somebody suggested getting a shield. We have like a spear and a shield. Okay, we're just spitballing. I'm kind of down for giant spider riders in. It's like, yeah, but basically the way things work in 40K is all of the needs of the orcs are met by squigs. they don't really like. From what I understand, orcs in 40k don't go out and domesticate animals. They mostly just kill them, and then squigs fill the niche that was left by that animal. So there might be like spider squigs that they can ride. Can we build a basic catapult? All right, let's vote on that. Let's vote on catapults. You got a couple of good suggestions here. Let's start with catapult, because I also like the is it possible to lead the tree apes to the village? That's risky, but you could probably do it. All right, yay or nay on catapults? Because catapults they're good for like a siege, and you could hurl stuff for a long way. You could probably damage farmhouses, but they are hard to move. And if they find out where you are, or this, like, catapults aren't stealthy. is the thing. Okay, the burner will be fixed. It's just apart right now. All right, so building catapults. I'm taking out all these ideas. All right. So then, what was the other one that was? So, do you guys want to try to lead the tree apes to the village, the carnivorous tree apes? This is I'm going to say that's a risky option. You could have a bunch of flesh-eating apes charge into the village and disrupt things for you. However, the apes have been proven to be very dangerous, and you would have to like figure out a way of getting their attention, running away from them, and then leading them into the town. So it would be very risky. We got no, yes, no, 2 yeses, 3 no's, monkey too smart, 4 no's, no apes, burn the apes. I think it's kind of close, but I think people are erring towards don't mess with the apes. All right. So right now, let's take a. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what we have. One second. All right, so here's what we got so far. You got Stinky and DeBrain. You got Ed, and Eddie, and those are your 5 grots that you have right now. DeFast and the Furious and Snotbow are running the cave and also the Snotantium. You have 39 unnamed Snots. You have the 3 commando Snots, Red Shirt 2, Punch and Bag, and Steve. You have the 3 other named Snotlings, which is Soggy, Snore Sleepa, and Bash Skull. We're working on, so that's what you have. We're working on Squig Cavalry. You can currently ride Pogchomp. We want to get Snotty as a shield. We're going to make some Snotfire urns, and we're going to have catapults, which might be able to hurl Snotfire urns. All right, some people are suggesting burning the forest to flush out the apes onto the humies. Now, here's the thing. You guys are in a fairly wet environment. Forest fires kind of happen in really dry areas. Places that get regular rainfall, forests actually don't burn all that well. It's probably not going to work. Like if you guys were in California weather where there's like a big dry season, yeah, you could like light a brush fire and spread. But you guys are in like late spring and it's still fairly wet. Do the humies have any crops? Yes. They're starting to grow. It is not harvest time yet. Like you guys are late spring, early summer. Okay, so one of the things we can do now, since this is so we basically have our plan for things that are gonna get built. In the meantime, you can send we can basically, here's what I'm gonna say. We got 2 days of like prep work, of like getting everything working and building. I'm probably gonna have more snotlings pop up in that time. And someone commented earlier that it sounds too orderly. It is not. None of it's orderly. Like everything is kind of a slapdash mess. But if you keep kicking and yelling at the snotlings, things just get done. Like as long as you're making them do things, they'll keep doing things. Yep, you guys need them. So you guys send the snotlings out to the commando snots to go check out. To go see if they could steal something, and they come back, and Punch and Bag looks a little singed. Basically, TLDR, it's an electrified fence. They found out it's an electrified fence, and they weren't sure what to do about it. They didn't. Well, it's designed to keep. It's a fence designed to keep the dangerous animals that are in the area out of their crops. So it's not like a lethal amount of electricity, but it is enough that you know your body's going to be spasming and you can't climb over it. Okay, we're gonna dig. You're gonna dig under it. All right. Then I can go for digging under it. All right, we're gonna do one. Let's do one commando snot raid, and then we'll assemble all of our stuff. So are we planning to just outright attack the human settlement? Is that what we're gonna try to do? I mean, you guys are gonna raid it with the commandos to try to steal some stuff, but is the plan just to essentially kill them? Like we're just gonna kill them? Okay, so they're gonna dig a hole to get underneath the fence. We're gonna dig a hole to get underneath the fence, and then let's see how well their raid goes. I'm gonna give them advantage because they're trained elite snots. Okay, so it's a couple days. You guys have let's see how well we did on getting Squig cavalry, by the way. Okay, you don't have like a ton, but you have like a half dozen Squig riders that can join. They'd be snots riding Squigs, but they can join Pogchomp and Snottius. So we got 6 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for how many more snots we got. 5 more snotlings popped out of the ground. So we have 44 unnamed snotlings. We got... So we have a shield that got made for Snotius. Snotfire urns were constructed. Catapults were constructed. We have bows that have been made. Bows and arrows. Tell the commandos to knock out the communications. They don't know how... They don't necessarily know how the Humies communicate. They don't necessarily... They basically... So they went and raided, and they brought back... they basically brought back... they managed to snag a bunch of scrap and random stuff that they could pocket and carry. But the big thing they managed to get was they managed to nab a small generator. So they basically found something that you can burn fuel in it, and it will produce electricity. And then they pocketed a bunch of other random stuff. So could be useful. You still don't have enough stuff for a pump wagon. All right, we've had the suggestion for pump wagon a bunch of times. Basically, it's going to take a miracle. So I'm going to roll at disadvantage. If they get 2 20s, if they get this is up to Gork and Mork. Both Gork and Mork have to say yes. These guys can build a pump wagon. If we get 2 20s, then we will give you your wish, and they will have a pump wagon somehow. Somehow they'll piece together a pump wagon. That is, in fact, a critical 1 and a 15. So, no. There's Gork and Mork say no pump wagon. I have asked the gods, and the gods have spoken. I gave you guys a shot. It's like you just do not have the components to build it. Like, orcs at least need enough scrap to build something that looks like it might work. Do you guys want to throw up some... let's see. All right, and the Burna gets reassembled and is handed back to Bash, Skull, and Soggy. We're going to try Squig chariots. You got Squig riders. Do you guys... Let's do it. Let's do an up or down vote on Squig chariots, because I've seen that pop up a couple times. You already have Squig riders. Do you guys want Squig chariots? Which the difference between a Squig rider and a Squig chariot is basically you would have one Snotling or Garrote who's the driver, and then you would have somebody else who is like riding with them on the chariot, who is either like throwing spears or is shooting arrows. That's basically the advantage that you have on a chariot, is it's a platform that's fast that you can also shoot things from. Yeah, you're in a forest. You don't have... It's not nice flat ground where a chariot's going to be super useful. Maybe at another time. Maybe when you guys are... No chariots. All right, so we got Squig hoppers. Do the commandos know how many Humies there are? Yes, they do. There are about... I'm just going to put this in human numbers, because orcs count this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, many, lots. They would report that there are many Humies. but there are not lots Humies. The actual number is there are 20 Humies in the settlement. 20 adult Humies. We're also going to pretend that children don't exist so that, like, you don't have to worry about feeling bad for wiping out a settlement. We're gonna play the video game card and pretend children don't exist. Just adult Humies. I don't want to describe anything bad happening to children. That's like a lot of war movies. You just don't. You see like one kid who looks sad because somebody in their family dies. You don't see a whole lot of violence against children, and I'd like to keep it that way. Build training elite Squig Riders. You guys just got Squig Riders. Like, you guys got dudes that can sit on the Squigs. You don't have enough time for them to get to be especially skilled. Yeah, but this is the other thing is the commandos say that this is the other thing their commandos report, that there are Humies up in the towers, in the watchtowers, and they have shooters. And most of the Humies, this is a frontier town. Most of the Humies have shooters. You have the electric fence. You have the 5 towers, the 5 watchtowers that have people with weapons inside of them, and then you have just the people themselves with whatever weapons they have. So that's basically what they've scoped out. All right. Eric Rayner has a suggestion for a plan of attack. Make an entrance in the fence with a catapult. Squig cavalry charge with snot fire and make chaos in the village. 3-foot snots charge after and kill all Humies. All right. So is that what we want to try to do? Because basically we're just gonna be setting up for what the fight's going to be. No, town walls are a chain link fence. It's a metal fence. That might be a good idea. Have the commandos try to take out one of the Humies in the tower to create a gap. It's a risk. They could get caught doing that, but then you could have an area where you could potentially sneak through, where there's a gap in the defenses. Okay, that's not a bad idea. First half, commandos sneak in and get kills. Second half, snots charge. And final half would be main siege weapons. Okay. So that is... Okay. So we now have what's all going to happen. I'm going to go give a little bit. I've been just kind of talking you guys through what the plan is, but let's get a little bit of narration. So the days of work and preparation have been and I'm going to do a dice roll to see if any orcs pop up, just in case. Okay, no orcs. No orcs yet. So you guys have been working hard. You've made a stockpile of canisters of snot fire. You've been able to construct catapults. More rafts have been constructed to be able to haul everything down towards the human settlement. The commandos have been going. They've gone a couple times in. They've only come out with items once, but they've done a fairly good job of scouting the place out, and they haven't been caught yet. You guys have a small Squig cavalry unit of 6, and you also have Pogchomp that that Snodius can ride. You got Stinky and DeBrain, Ed, and Eddie, 44 unnamed Snots, 3 commandos, Red Shirt, Punching Bag, and Steve. You got Soggy and Bash Skull on the Burnham. You also have Snore Sleepa. We have a shield for Snodius. We got bows and arrows constructed as well. So we have a fair amount of stuff. Not to mention you have Tree Climber, DeBrain, and Snodius with las guns. We got some suggestions to make some traps in the forest. Do you guys want to set up traps in the forest? Let's do a yay or nay vote on that. Once again, the danger of doing things in the forest is the wildlife that's in the forest. You guys can dig. It wouldn't take that long to dig simple pit traps, if that's what you guys want to do. Okay, so that'll be where we're going to stop. We'll do pit traps. If you guys have to retreat. Okay, I think we have a fair plan, and I think this has been mostly just talking our way through the session of what the plan's going to be, and I think the actual attack on the human settlement is going to take a long time. And I think we want to save that for next time. This is kind of a short session, but I don't think I'm prepared to do the whole thing. There's a lot of good preparation, I think so. I think you guys are ready to make the attack. And we'll see which snotlings and grots and which ones survive and which ones don't, and who wins the day. We will see what happens. All right, let's one last thing. Red paint for the cavalry. I assume people are yes on that. It's like a farm. Think of farmers on the frontier. Do farmers on the frontier have guns? Yes, they do. Or at least in the American frontier, they do. All American farmers have guns. Nobody doesn't have guns. Snodius is alive. Snodius is great. I rolled already to see if the commandos got a chance at the weapons, and they just didn't. They didn't have it. It was just I rolled it out, and I rolled out what thing they were going to find, and they couldn't get at the weapons. All right, we'll painted red. The Squig cavalry will be painted red. All right, this has kind of been a short session, but I think this has been. I hope everyone had fun. Did everyone? This was kind of just let's plan out our attack. This wasn't a whole lot of role playing, but I hope everyone had fun. Painted red with what you guys have. The rule of orcs is there's a mushroom or a squig for everything. I assume there's like a mushroom that has like that can paint things red. There's also blood. You can also kill things. All right. So I thank you all for joining me for the stream. I'm glad you all had fun. I think we'll have a good time, and I think once we get the fight going, I think it'll be a lot of fun to see. We'll be able to name more snotlings and get more of them that are going to die, and you know, I think that'll be the interesting thing: who's going to live and who's going to die. Tractor about to be a Grot mega tank, maybe. If you guys can take down, it's going to be hard because right now you are small little grots and snotlings with 3 las guns and a burna versus a settlement uh, of farmers with rifles and probably shotguns. So this is probably going to be the last fight before the orcs show up. There's a small chance they showed up early, but I think we're going to do it after this fight. Much appreciated, and I want to give a thanks to Captain Toothbreaker for donating today. It was kind of a quiet day for donating, but like, it's fine. Like, I kind of figured this was not going to be a super busy chat one, but that's fine. Like, I understand that things kind of go in waves for people, and like, money's not always available, and this is also a different sort of stream where it was more collaborative than it was a chance for individual people to kind of put out their super chat and like determine that something's going to happen. So that's fine. Like, it's cool. I just wanted you guys to have fun. We can discuss more in the next session. So I'm not going to be here for the next week. No stream next Friday. We'll resume once I get the next episode written. And then we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. All right. Thank you all for playing with me. And I hope you all had fun. No Man out.